Today, we're going to look at a story that isn't about some flashy tech startup or a $1 billion idea. Nope. It's about something way more fundamental: seeing a problem in your own community and deciding you're going to be the one to solve it. This is the story of L&R Transportation, a company born from empathy and built, ride by ride, on pure reliability. Our story kicks off right here in these super quiet early morning hours. And this isn't just, to set a pretty scene. It's about understanding the commitment behind the scenes. For a lot of us, a trip to the doctor is pretty simple. But for others, it's a huge logistical puzzle. And the day has to start super early, with a driver you can trust to make absolutely sure that critical care is never, ever missed. And that really gets to the heart of the matter, doesn't it? What's the real cost here? It's not just a $25 cancellation fee. A missed ride, that could mean a condition gets worse, a diagnosis gets delayed, or a break in life-sustaining treatment, like dialysis. We're talking about a question of health, of dignity, and sometimes just survival. So where did this all begin? Well, it didn't start with some fancy business plan. It started with a simple, first-hand observation of this exact gap in care. The founder, Mouf Liassou, was managing a group home at the time, and day after day, he saw residents struggling. They weren't skipping appointments because they didn't feel like going. No, they were skipping them because the ride they desperately needed just wasn't safe, or it wasn't reliable, or sometimes it just wasn't there at all. He saw the real, human cost of a system that just didn't have any room for error. Now, here's what's really fascinating. This personal, on-the-ground view he had, it actually mirrors a much, much bigger national issue. What Mouf was seeing wasn't just some isolated problem. 64%. Just take a second and let that number sink in. According to a recent survey, nearly 2/3 of seniors say a lack of transportation is one of the top reasons they skip necessary medical care. This isn't just some small inconvenience. It is a massive systemic barrier to people's health. And when you dig into the survey, it gets even clearer. 1 in 4 seniors just skipped getting care entirely. 13% missed at least one appointment in the last year alone, all because they couldn't get a ride. Every single one of those numbers is a person whose health was put on the line. And this right here, this says it all. This is the motivation for Mouf. That 64% wasn't just a data point on a chart. It was the faces of the residents he knew by name, the appointments on the calendar, the actual people who were being left behind. And that's what turned an observation into an action. Okay, so you see this problem right in front of your face. How do you turn that into a solution? Mouf didn't start a committee or write a report. He did something way more direct. The journey was almost beautifully simple. Back in 2013, he bought one vehicle and started L&R Transportation. The mission wasn't complicated. It was just a simple, powerful promise. Be safe, be early, and treat the ride itself as part of the care that person was on their way to get. I absolutely love this detail. In the beginning, this was literally a company run from the kitchen table. There was no fancy routing software, just a pen, a schedule, and a personal promise to every single person he was driving. Trust was built one trip at a time. So how does a one-van, kitchen table operation actually grow? Not with a big ad campaign, but with something way, way more powerful. Here's the key. For L&R, customer service was never some buzzword or a department you call when things go wrong. It was the whole philosophy of the business. It was baked into every conversation, every early arrival, every single safe trip. It was everything. And you know what? The community noticed. This quote from a senior center director just says it all. L&R didn't just give people rides. They built relationships. They actually got to know the people they were serving. And that's how the word spread. That's how the company grew. One vehicle, one recommendation at a time. Of course, no small business journey is a straight line. And for a company built on transportation and healthcare, well, the pandemic was pretty much a perfect storm. All of a sudden, demand just fell off a cliff as appointments got canceled left and right. At the same time, safety rules got incredibly strict, and the costs for gas, for cleaning supplies, for everything went through the roof. For a small fleet, every empty seat was a huge risk. Mouf had to scale things back, but he never stopped driving. He got back behind the wheel himself to protect the heart of what he built. It was a real test of his commitment, and now you see that resilience paying off as the business is recovering with this hard-won, really practical sense of optimism. So as we wrap this up, let's talk about what this whole story is really about. It is so much more than just a service. It's about giving back something truly essential. This is what L&R provides. It's the dignity of mobility. And that's a feeling that's hard to put on a spreadsheet, but man, you can feel it. It's knowing someone will be there for you, that you're safe, and that your health matters enough for someone to show up, on time, every single time. It's a profound kind of respect. And that really leaves us with this final thought. True innovation, it doesn't always come from a spreadsheet. Sometimes it comes straight from the heart. It comes from seeing a gap right there in your community, a gap that's affecting the lives of your neighbors, and making a simple, powerful promise to close it, one ride at a time.